Welcome back to Hermitpack, the series with an intro that rhymes. I don't know what that was, but it'll do. Welcome back, everyone. Behind me is the Tower of Power, which harnesses the energy of the sun and converts it into energy we can use in our worlds. And we upgraded this recently, and unfortunately, it hasn't been doing too much of a good job. If we go up here, you'll see that we are generating about 7,000 RF per tick excess, which gets stored here, and this thing never really gets to get filled up anywhere further than this right here, because as soon as I leave the server, you know, the sun cycle continues, no one sleeps, and in the night time that energy just simply disappears very quickly. So we need a new energy solution, and I have had tons and tons of comments from people saying build your solar panels in the end. Now, it sounds like a strange idea because the end doesn't have a sun, but it also doesn't have a day-night cycle. So if it works, it will work around the clock, is the thinking. So a great idea. We've got to do an experiment to find out, and that will lead us on a journey to creating a very solid power source, which will involve going to other dimensions as well as the end. I'm actually really excited for what we're going to be doing. Now, this building over here, you may have seen it in the last episode, but I didn't talk about it, and I just sort of forgot that I had built it. It is going to be, once again, a portal to somewhere else. A lot of these buildings are always going to revolve around us just working with something small like this, doing something different each time, and then you walk into it to go to another place. And the place we're going to go to from here is the end dimension. So with modded being as fantastic as it is, you can actually build your own portal to the end, which I think is extremely cool. I wouldn't say that's one of those things I'd like to see in vanilla, but I do think it's a cool thing to do in modded, and this is the way that you're supposed to do it, with obsidian. And then down the bottom here you have end stone like this. I don't know if this bit is necessary, it's just in the picture that I saw. Now, the picture that I've gone by, I'm also not sure if this end rod is at the correct height, but you need this block here, the end rod, and you need an evil tear. That's right, an evil tear of all things, and this is how you craft it. So nice and easy for us, because we got that Wither Skull farm. And then we right click on the end rod, and apparently we eat, and apparently nothing happens. What have I done wrong? The ring of obsidian needs to be on every block to begin with, like that. Now let's try. Yes, something happened. It took... Oh, wow! Oh, that's super cool. Okay. Oh, I really like that. Look at the way it expands outwards. And sound effects. Oh, and look, it's flush as well. That is supremely cool. I really like that. Obviously, now what we've got to do is create a floor design around here, just so it's a little bit more seamless. What I'd also like to know is, can I now break this? This won't interfere with that, will it? No. Oh, it does. It does. Okay, that's got to go back then. And does that mean I've got to do the whole process again? Yes, it does. Well, I don't mind watching this for a second time. And we destroyed the end rod first. It could be that I could get away with destroying that, so I'll experiment once again with what we can destroy. Nice. That is really, really cool. Okay, so what happens if we break that? Because the end rod is going to stay there. Excellent. No! It goes away a second later. So I searched end in the sidebar and looked for the most obvious end dimension related block, the block of ender pearl, which isn't particularly much of a building block, but I've chiseled it down and put it on the floor and it just looks ridiculous. I'm going to get rid of that for sure. And this shuriken is amazing. Look, whenever these guys come and pester me, no problem to deal with them. It's the moment of truth. It could make or break our plans. We're out in the end dimension. Here's the coordinates if you want to see them. And, although this is a different dimension, this one works with chunk loading. So, actually a really cool idea to put this out here. Right, let's right click on it. And we've got to hold down right click. That's right, it's been a while since I've done this. And it automatically assembles everything for you. All the items are gone. So if this works, we're about to find out. Let's put a capacitor bank below it. And it's working. It works in the end. Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. That really is. We can take things to the next level now. So I've just conducted a very important experiment. In fact, no, I've conducted two very important experiments. The other one makes more sense when I stand back here. Do you see Endermen spawning over there? I don't, which means they probably can't spawn on any of the block types that we're using here, which is a good thing to know. I wanted to know if I needed to make this stuff spawn proof. And the second thing we've learned is that this one isn't generating any power when there's blocks above it. Now that might sound obvious, but if in the case that it wasn't programmed to look above and it just generated the energy anyway. You can see we've got nothing down here. Then we can actually stack these on top of one another, because the next one that we're going to be building is a little bit bigger. It's going to come out to this corner and that corner over there, which means I don't think we can fit them side by side in a chunk. Like, we couldn't have 4 of them together in one chunk, which means for each loaded chunk that we have, we're going to have one of these residing inside of it. I don't know if having them across multiple chunks, like with a chunk border down the middle, is a particularly good idea, but considering that there is nothing here, there will be no Endermen spawning on it, then I think it will be okay for the server to load those things up. So what I want to do is produce more power, but before we can do that, we need more Lapis. And we're going to do something that requires power to get Lapis. Okay, never mind. My first test wasn't good enough. As I was about to leave the area, Endermen have spawned on it, so what we should probably do is bring some glass back with us. Hopefully that'll work with the solar panels. So while I was in the end, you can see I've been busy gathering up some lapis ore. I hope this isn't more expensive than regular lapis ore, but this or the nether would have been the quickest way to get some of this stuff, because you might have guessed what we're going to do. We're going to use the material absorber again and make a lapis dimension, because we're going to need an insane amount of this stuff to craft all of the solar panels that I want to do. And boy, does that affect my frames right there. Now, while I was mining all of that stuff, and I do hope that was all lapis, pretty sure it was, I also picked up some sodalite ore. Is it me, or do these have the same texture? They do. Like, I think there's a slight discrepancy. If you look at those pixels there, they're different to those ones. So it's just a little bit more blue, isn't it? It's a little bit more luminous. And I don't know what that stuff's for. But anyway, how is this one doing? Does it need any more lapis from me? Let's have a look. 94%. It always needs just a little bit more. Alright, our lapis dimension has been made. It's got 2 dimlets, material and terrain. The terrain is flat, the material is obviously lapis. And this thing was acting pretty funky a moment ago when it was over here. It was like no power was coming through the back there. I think something's gone wrong here, but anyway, we're going to power this thing from over here. So it takes 7k RF per tick, which was sort of the excess that we had. However, I turned off our Enderman farm, which was running at 15k per tick. So this means we don't even have to worry about this thing collapsing, which is extremely cool. I've also brought an activity probe. That means it's not going to use power when we're not inside the dimension. And I should also bring my fortune pick, or maybe just the hammer, because we don't really need fortune when there's so much of it. It's probably faster to mine it all quicker, right? And this isn't what I was expecting to see. Why is there redstone ore here? Like, have I dialed? I think I might have dialed someone else's dimension. Someone else has been playing around with this and they know what they're doing. And wow, look at the way the redstone ore lights up when mobs walk over it. That is so cool. That is really, really cool. This looks like a fascinating dimension. There are spheres full of interesting blocks. However, I don't know whose this is, and I think I'm going to leave it alone. Well, apparently there is no mistake. This is our dimension, which I'm thoroughly disappointed in, to be honest. This is not what I signed up for. I did not want a redstone world, and we have a redstone farm already, so it's completely pointless. Now, under here, there might be lapis, but yeah, look at that. None. So often when I record and I watch my videos back later, I notice that I start explaining something, get distracted and don't quite finish what I was saying. So with a fortune pick, we can only mine 1 block at a time. And so if we get more drops from mining 9 at a time and we can do that faster, then it makes sense to use that even if it doesn't have fortune. As fun as this is, and a great source of XP by the way, everything here is completely farmed and this is completely pointless. Why did our world generate like this? I just don't know. And the spheres are full of water, apparently. And, oh, actually, I can't really see. And guardians? Can make a guardian farm with this? Why? Why spheres full of water with guardians in? This just doesn't make any sense. Good news, everyone. That usually is followed by bad news, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yep, we've done it. We've got it to work. And I'll tell you why in a moment, just in case I try to repeat myself and remember it incorrectly. So a world full of lapis, this costs 11,000 RF per tick, and it looks like we might be able to mine so fast that we can never pick up all the XP we get from this. And this is amazing, look at all that lapis filling up our inventory. Incredible. Yep, what did I say? We're getting too much XP from doing this. That is so cool. Awesome, very awesome stuff. Now, this world that I've created, this is unbelievable. It's got a volcanoes feature with it. Oh yeah, and the amazing, beautiful green and purple sky. Got to mention that. Let's put the night vision on. Takes away the green from the top of the sky there. So I'm expecting to see some volcanoes in this world, which this is clearly not. However, I just got a tweet from my friend Pony who was saying you could make a void world with nether fortresses in, and then I might be able to find the stim pack. And talk about 2-in-1 right here. This is awesome. We've got a good chance of finding a stim pack if we can fly around and just look for one on top of the nether fortress, because that's where it will spawn. And also, if ever we need spawners, they're going to be so easy to get hold of. As I was flying around here, I also noticed that there is another one just over here. This is perfect. This is so good. Another reason to explore this dimension, not just to get Lapis, to get spawners and to get stim packs. And we must remember to put down an activity probe so that when we're not in this world, it's not going to consume any power. You can also find a witch hut in this world. Not what I was expecting to see. I don't know if it would have a bounding box or not. Obviously, we don't need to make no witch farm, but this is just bizarre. I'm having fun exploring this world. So check this out. The world actually cost 5,000 RF per tick. I remember saying 11,000. It's even cheaper than that rubbish world we made. And I think what made this work was the order of the dimlets. You see there it says material, terrain and feature. I made sure to copy our other successful one and do that in here. And as I was moving them around, I noticed where it said OK, took a moment to update to warn. So if there's an issue there, it could mean you put them in one order and it says OK, whereas actually it should be saying warn. Not saying that's correct or not, just a slight observation that I made. Either way, that worked. Now we got tons of lapis. Now we can look at crafting some more solar panels. There's another material that we need. Quartz. So I've gone to the nether, got some quartz ore, and what I usually do is use the builder's wand to place down like a large amount of quartz ore, and I found what you can actually do is first of all place this on top of one. Now it knows it's getting quartz, and just stand here and hold down right click like that and it will take those. But the cool thing is when it reaches 100% it doesn't take any more, so you can wait here for a while, and when you see the blocks stop placing, that's when you know you're at 100%. And there it is. So now that thing should be, yep, 100%. Excellent. So we've made the dimension. Here it is, full of quartz. Problem is, doesn't appear in the dialing device. ID 10 isn't there, and that's the one that we need to go to, and I don't know what's that about, so that's kind of foiled my plans for now. We really can't do this without quartz and lapis. So I was thinking about other things that I've seen recently, and part of the refined storage mod is this network transmitter and receiver, which works with this interdimensional upgrade. Now, it was this itself that got me curious, because I was literally thinking, I really want to be able to access everything that we have right here when we're in other dimensions. That would also eliminate the need for this little ender pouch thing as well, because we could just open this up directly and get our items whatever dimension we are in. And it turns out that that is possible. It might actually be a little bit limited. Like if we go exploring, we'd probably still need this. So anyway, we have a network transmitter and a network receiver. The transmitter must always be in a loaded chunk, which is what these ones here are. So around the back of our network, I believe we can just hook this up to a cable, open it up, and inside of it we'll put an interdimensional upgrade. It might also need, right, so it needs a network card, and then this thing goes over here. And by the way, this is possible because of our wither farm, which Biffa is also constructing. He's playing on the server right now, and I've been hearing withers spawn all day today. So we also need a network card. I hope this isn't going to be expensive. So network cards are nice and cheap to make, which is fantastic. So one goes in over there. Now this will work in another dimension. So we've got to go to another dimension and put down a network receiver. But I think that also means we then have to set it up with some grids and possibly a controller as well. So I've gotten as far as this, and I put down the network receiver, and I can't open it. I can't put in the interdimensional upgrade. And that's what the instructions on the wiki said to do. So I'm kind of stumped at this point because our grid is empty. I also brought along with me a little wireless transmitter as well, which means while we're moving around, we don't have to come back over to the terminal. Made a range upgrade for it. Maybe, does Interdimensional work with that? No, it's got nothing to do with that, has it? So I just can't get this thing to open, and I don't know why. Well, I did it. I missed a step. I'm supposed to right-click on this thing, and then it gets linked to this receiver. So now we've got to go to our transmitter and put this particular network card inside of it, and then it will transmit to this one. Okay, there we go. Kind of curious what happens if we remove that. Yeah, so it knows it's looking at dimension 6, and then it needs an upgrade for that. I think if this were just going to somewhere else in the same dimension, then you wouldn't have that problem. No, it still doesn't work, and from what I'm reading, I've done every step they've instructed. So, it's a mystery. Today is a day of things going wrong for me, and something else I tried to do earlier on was to make a chunk loading ward. This is another way to load chunks. It will do a 3x3 area, so we could do that in our mob farm place where we were at a second ago with the zombie pigmen. You remember that place? Anyway, I went to craft it, and if you have a look at the recipe here, it wants a villager under contract. And I was like, what is that? And Scalder let me know what you have to do is make a contract, which is this thing right here. Very simple to craft. That is basically black dye. And then you have to right click on a villager with this. Hi. I like this guy's eyes. They're dark and green. They match his little suit there. What sort of villager are you? A sage. Interesting. But anyway, going to right click on you. Look at this. What's going on here? That's a crazy large number, also known as sage. Being of sound mind and body, do agree to allow my physical, spiritual, and or mental essences to be bound to a physical object and to use any skills that I may currently possess to provide useful service to Asuma. I agree that my essence shall remain bound to the physical object until either 1. The object is destroyed, the universe ends, the very concept of time and or entropy is destroyed or rendered untenable, and I get bored of standing around in limbo making weird noises and float away to the next life, which is unlikely since I make weird noises. No, Notch, no, please no. I like this person's sense of humour. Apparently this guy has no name. Do I do anything here though? Is that it? Do I now... I feel like he's not under contract. Like, am I supposed to type my name or press enter? No, I've got a feeling this isn't going to work. Because nothing's happening. Like, where's the next step? If I pick him back up again... Right, he's still just a farmer who's not under contract. Okay, maybe it takes a certain type of villager to sign the contract like this guy. I could never say no to a villager with such a small nose. Wait, does he have a small nose? No, he's got a regular nose. Let's try that again. Click sign. Excellent, you are now under contract. Sweet, there we go. My worry here, though, is it says it's a cleric, and it's got health 20, whereas here, there's none of that stuff listed. Let's give it a try. Let's see if we can craft this. Yes! Yes, it works! That is a sigh of relief. So we know how to do that. The other item, by the way, very cheap to make. Oop, not the sticks. These ones right here, very cheap to make. That's cool. We get our golden lasso back as well. Right, let's place this inside of the middle chunk, and will anything happen? Will we know that this is loaded? I'm guessing we'll see nothing here. Yeah, no surprise. And I think the only way we'd really be able to know is by seeing if the gold continues to come into the system when we go away. Another thing I really need to do, by the way, is upgrade this. Has it got any more modifiers yet? No, it hasn't. But once it's chunk loaded, it will be doing this round the clock. Okay, there we go. Nuggets just went up. So did the gold ingot. That's terrific. This thing is working. I've been sat here for a while. I've seen the number go up a couple of times. It's going up right now. Awesome. So there is another chunk loader that works. Scalder to the rescue. Oh, this guy helps us out so many times when we get things wrong. I'm still not quite sure what he did, but from what he said, I believed it spawned without one of these in, which is slightly worrying. Worrying? Worry and terrifying, the two words that got tangled inside my brain space there. Right, we're going to go, we'll dial the once, we're going to go to that dimension. Aha, let's get ready to get some quartz. Oh, taking wither damage, that's very bad. I'm not sure I really want to stay in here for too long. I feel like a very lucky chappy because this witherless rose will stop us from feeling the wither effect. And so fortunately have we come across the nether stars recently, and these other things, the fertile essence. I can't remember where I've been getting these from, but I noticed them appearing in a farm, and the rest of it is easy stuff that we've already got. So fortunately for us, we're at a point where this works. Now I think you just got to have it somewhere in your inventory. I'm going to hold it in my hands this time because I'm a little bit worried of dying there a second time. So let's go and dial it once again. There are now 2 ID10s. It's quite odd. I found the problem while I was dying so much was because there are 2 of these here now, and the other one has spawned above the other, so you spawn into the world inside of this block. Let's also rename this to Quartz quickly, so we can see it from the other side, and I do believe we've got all of my items back. Want to do a quick experiment, don't want to do this experiment for too long. We will turn off our magnet in order to do so. By the way, this world has tendrils in, and they look spectacular. Unfortunately, they're just made out of stone, so they're not terribly interesting. We're going to throw this on the ground, because I haven't felt the wither effect at all in this dimension, and had to pick up my rose a moment later. Right, so, I don't know, maybe the wither effect that we first had wasn't actually the wither effect. Wouldn't we see it over here? I don't know what's going on, but I do know that we're in a world full of quartz. And these tendrils are fascinating. There's a cow on that one up there, I think. Hello, nice place to spawn, is it? All the way up here. There's no grass nearby. Cool, and there's structures. I don't think we're going to see anything like nether fortresses. I believe the perk that I added last time, I say perk, I can't remember what these are called. Terrain features, something like that. I added volcanoes to it, and that was going to be a little bit of a surprise. But we never got volcanoes, we got nether fortresses instead. But anyway, we came here for quartz, and now we can collect it by the absolute boatload. Oh yes, we are swimming in quartz. I don't know what this is, but it's cool. All of my XP is just flying up into the sky. I've been collecting it for ages, and every now and then I look behind me and it looks like I've picked it all up. And actually it's like flying up into the air above me. Notice something different about this room? We've gotten rid of the stone. We're doing some renovations. And speaking of renovations, there's a lot of them going on down here. We'll come back to that later on. Right now we're going to hop back into that world. Actually, I wanted to take this with me because we're going to check out a couple of modifiers that looked really, really interesting. But we're going to go into the quartz world so we can get some more quartz at the same time. So I was going to put this modifier on both of my tools. And for the hammer it would mean we'd have to add extra modifiers. But I since thought I might not actually want to do this. Now this one's got 11 modifiers, can you believe it? And this one only has 1. So we'll add, well actually we'll just add all 3 of these since I've made them. And we're going to add 2 to this. I should have repaired it. Should have repaired it before I did this. So this is the expander. It expands horizontal and this one can do vertical. So we should be able to mine a bigger region. Look at that, width plus plus. Does it stack? Does it go triple? No. Good to know. And then we're going to add one for the height as well. And so now this should in theory do like a 5x5. Oh, not quite, but that is seriously cool. That makes a huge difference. Wow. Okay, now I'm not sure if I want to do that on the pick because it functions as a pick, but now that we got the paxel, yeah, I think we should do this on the pick as well. And you can put them in there at the same time, which is cool, so both of those have been done. Does that mean this one's going to do like a 3x3 now? Oh, no, that's rubbish! I don't like that at all. Wait, so it's going to do like a 2x2. Oh no, that really sucks. I don't like that at all. I guess it's sort of better, but I'm not really a fan of that. I think we've ruined our good pick. If you were looking to make those yourself, you need purple slime to do this, and these are actually quite rare. As you'll see here, the only way to get it is through bees. There is another way though, and it requires some exploring. And actually, if we hop outside, we'll be able to see the map properly. So you know those floaty slime islands that you see? Well, every now and then one of them will be a rare one, which is purple. And the only one that I could see that we had explored was somewhere down here. There it is. I even made a waypoint to it. And this one had the purple congealed slime. So if you want to make those modifiers, you need to go and find a purple slime island. There's that noise. I am annoying the other players with this. I've been farming a few withers. I'm almost done here. Just getting enough to upgrade our solar panels. And wanted to ask if anyone knew a way to disable that sound, because we got a muffler up here which does everything but. And that is going to be the last wither I do for now. So we're going to put that back over to that side. I should really come up with something a little bit easier than that. So back in the end, we now have a tier 4 solar panel array. That's the top one. It's going to be running round the clock, and it's next to our tier 3 one as well. Thing is here, our capacitor banks are full, so we can't really see how much this one is outputting. This one did 24,000 RF per tick, and I can't remember what this is, but that should secure us for a long time. And of course, I can now quite easily craft a lot of this stuff up again and, you know, upgrade this whenever I feel like it. However, these blocks around the outside, there are 40 of them, and those took all of those nether stars, so we need to get that wither farm running around the clock, and then we can keep generating more and more RF. And so another one draws to a close. I never know where we're going to end up with these episodes, because things in modded sometimes are really quick, sometimes they're really slow, you run into lots of problems, and it's just not the same pace as vanilla, is it? It's kind of all over the place, but I like it like that as well because it makes it different. And the last thing that I want to show you is what's going on around the back here. I've just tidied this up. This is pretty much final, what you're looking at right here. And if we pop down into the area down below, this is going to have some serious renovations, and this is the roof that we've designed so far. This is a potential light source for the area down below. These are 2 separate blocks. We'll probably talk about those another time. Many things are going to change around here. One of them will be the height. This room is going to get a lot lower down, so we'll be looking further up to see this ceiling, which is made out of 3 different types of these tile blocks. One is andesite, stone, and I think hardened stone or something like that. And they have been chiseled down, so they're just a single layer. And then we've got these factory blocks around them as well. So all of this stuff will get moved about and reshuffled, and I think I'm just going to focus on doing this in a live stream because it's quite a tedious and time-consuming task. And that's kind of where we're at in the series. So I hope you're enjoying it as always. If you are, leave a like on the video. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.